Welcome to the deep dive.
Uh,
You know how sometimes you're faced with just a mountain of information, reports, data, notes.
mhm.
Our job here is to sift through all that, find the real gems, and give you that shortcut to being genuinely well informed.
Exactly. Spark those aha moments without you having to wade through everything yourself.
So today we're diving into the global conference hotel market. We've got a pretty comprehensive outlook report here, packed with some really interesting trends and numbers.
Yeah, it really is. And our mission today is basically to unpack that, look at how the market's doing now, zero in on the key regions, and then cast our eyes forward all the way to 2033.
Right. The idea is to give you a clear, concise picture of this, well, really dynamic sector.
Absolutely vital sector, you could say.
Yeah, vital is the word. So let's set the scene first. The big picture. Globally, this market pulled in, what was it, around $22.6 billion back in 2021.
That's right. Roughly 22.6 billion.
But here's where it gets interesting. That number. It's expected to climb past $28.5 billion by 2025. And then a huge leap to nearly $45.5 billion by 2033.
It's a massive jump. And that translates to a pretty healthy compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 6% globally.
6% globally, that's strong.
It really is. What's striking about those numbers, is that consistent, significant upward curve. It's not just bouncing back from, recent history.
Right.
It looks like a projected boom.
Mm.
That 6% CAGR, it suggests real confidence in, in-person events, hybrid events.
And for anyone maybe not familiar, CAGR it just smooths out the growth year over year, right? Gives you that average trend.
Exactly. Cuts through the yearly ups and downs.
Yeah.
So seeing 6% over a decade, that really speaks volumes about sustained expansion.
Okay, so let's break this down region by region. Where should we start? North America.
Makes sense? Still a powerhouse, definitely.
Yeah, so in 2021, North America was close to $9 billion. $8.97 billion to be precise.
Right.
By 2025, that's projected to be over $11.1 billion. And looking out to 2033, we're talking over $17 billion.
So still massive growth. The CAGR there is just under 5.5%, about 5.499%.
Which is solid, especially for a mature market. What's keeping it so strong?
Well, within that, the U.S. is obviously the giant. It's projected to break $10 billion, $10.38 billion, actually, by 2033.
Okay.
Canada is showing strong growth, too. It's heading towards $4.4 billion, around $4.37 billion by 2033.
And you mentioned Mexico earlier.
Yeah, Mexico is fascinating here. It's showing really robust growth, a CAGR of over 6.7%, 6.732%, in fact.
Wow, so actually outpacing the U.S. and Canada in terms of growth rate.
Exactly. It suggests Mexico is becoming increasingly important for conferences in the region, maybe better infrastructure, more international business.
Interesting. Okay, let's hop across the Atlantic. Europe. How's it looking there?
Europe's also impressive. It started at around $6.3 billion in 2021, expected to hit nearly $7.8 billion by 2025, and then up to over $12.1 billion by 2033.
Okay, and the CAGR for Europe?
That's sitting at about 5.6%, 5.659%, so also very healthy growth.
Definitely holding its own. And within Europe, who are the big players?
Well, you've got the established hubs. The UK and Germany are showing particularly strong KGRs. The UK is at 6.732%,
Same as Mexico, interestingly.
projected to reach over $2.5 billion. Germany's not far behind. CIGR over 6.1%, heading towards $2.46 billion.
So there's that strong base for business tourism, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you have France, Italy, Spain, all showing consistent growth. Maybe a bit more moderate, but still significant contributions.
What about some of the smaller countries mentioned, like Switzerland or Denmark?
Still steady expansion. Denmark's DGR is around 4.6%, Switzerland about 4.4%. Even Luxembourg is growing, though a bit slower at 3.7%. It all adds up.
And the rest of Europe category also shows decent growth.
Yeah, nearly 6% CAGR for the rest of Europe combined. So growth is pretty widespread across the continent.
Okay, but now, the region you flagged as the real growth engine, Asia Pacific.
Oh, yes, this is where the numbers get really exciting.
Yeah.
Asia Pacific has the highest regional CGR globally, over 7.1%, 7.164%.
Wow, so starting from...
Around $4.7 billion in 2021, projected to hit over $6.2 billion by 2025. And then a really substantial jump to $10.86 billion by 2033.
Nearly $11 billion. What's fueling that? It's a huge surge.
It's a combination, really. China is a massive driver. It's projected to soar from $1.6 billion or so in 2021 to over $4.1 billion by 2033.
Okay.
That's a CGR of nearly 8%. Think about their economy, infrastructure investment.
Massive scale. And Japan.
Japan's also key. A solid contributor, expected to reach over $1.8 billion by 2033. CGR around 5.5%.
Right. But you highlighted one country in particular, India.
India.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the real standout in terms of growth rate. It started smaller, around $487 million in 2021, but it's projected to hit $1.37 billion by 2033. And the CAGR, nearly 9%, 8.994%.
9%. That's incredible. That's the highest single country rate we've seen. What's the story there?
It's likely a perfect storm. Rapidly growing tech sector, huge startup scene.
Lots of need for conferences.
Exactly. Plus a large growing professional class and government pushes for tourism and international business. It's positioning itself as a critical hub.
Makes sense. Any other notables in APAC?
Definitely. South Korea is strong, projected over $1.3 billion by 2033, with a KGR close to 7%.
Okay.
Australia and Singapore also show solid growth, reflecting their roles as, established regional business centers. Even places like Taiwan show good growth. Southeast Asia is a bit lower, relatively, but still growing.
Got it. Okay, let's move down to South America. What are we seeing there?
South America is showing healthy growth, too. Over $1.1 billion in 2021.
Right.
Growing to nearly $1.5 billion in 2025, and then projected close to $2.4 billion, maybe $2.43 billion by 2033.
And the growth rate?
Pretty strong. CER is over 6.3%, 6.327%.
Okay. So who leads the pack there? Brazil.
Brazil's the biggest, yeah. Projected to grow from about $538 million to over $1.1 billion by 2033. Solid 6.1% CGR.
Right about Colombia.
Also solid, heading towards over $400 million. But look at Colombia.
What about Colombia?
Its CGR is exceptionally high for the region, over 8%, 8.031%.
Another 8%er.
Yeah. Starting smaller, $88 million or so, but projected to hit over $223 million. Suggests really significant emerging opportunities there.
Interesting. Peru also looks strong.
Very strong. GGR nearly 7.5%. Chile's also got a good rate, over 6.6%. So quite dynamic growth across several South American countries.
Okay, two more regions. Let's look at the Middle East.
Right. Another region showing significant expansion. About $835 million in 2021. Projected over $1 billion by 2025, and then hitting over $1.8 billion by 2033.
And the CAGR.
Robust. Almost 6.7%. 6.682% to be exact.
So similar growth rate to Mexico and the UK. What's driving that in the Middle East?
A lot of strategic investment, I think.
Yeah.
Countries diversifying their economies. Saudi Arabia is really leading the charge here.
How so?
Projected to go from about $318 million to over $736 million by 2033. That's a CAGR over 7.1%.
Wow.
And the UAE, already a huge event hub, right?
Yeah.
Continues strong growth, nearly 7% CAGR, heading over $327 million.
Right. Dubai, Abu Dhabi.
Exactly. Plus, you've got Turkey and Egypt contributing significantly, too. It's clearly part of national strategies investing big in tourism, infrastructure, business services.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, Africa.
Africa. The market there totaled just under $600 million in 2021. $591.7 million.
Okay.
Projected to cross $741 million in 2025. And estimated to reach almost $1.1 billion by 2033.
So breaking the billion-dollar mark.
And
the growth rate?
The CAGR is just over 5%, 5.054% steady growth.
And within Africa?
South Africa is the largest market, projected to grow from around $226 million to over $435 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of over 5.3%.
Okay. And Nigeria?
Nigeria is substantial, too, heading towards $285 million. But the growth rate is a bit slower, around 4%.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Compared to other regions, it seems like it's still developing its conference hotel infrastructure, but there's clearly significant potential as economies grow and, integrate more globally.
Right. So let's try and connect all these dots. We see numbers flying around from all over the world. It seems big drivers are, business travel evolving, right?
Definitely. And the rise of hybrid events, that mix of in-person and virtual. And probably just the rebound in tourism generally. People wanting face-to-face again.
Absolutely. A renewed appetite for that in-person connection after the pandemic years. That's a big factor.
So what's really interesting is this balancing act you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. You've got the traditional markets, the U.S., Germany, UK. They're still growing steadily.
Right.
Reliable, solid foundation.
Right.
But then you look at the really rapid expansion, the new demand that's coming strongly from emerging economies.
Like India, China, Colombia, Saudi Arabia.
Precisely. Brazil, too. It shows a real shift in where the new global opportunities are popping up.
And why does this matter to you, our listener? Well, it gives you this incredible insight into global economic shifts, doesn't it?
Totally. Where growth is happening, Potential investment areas, maybe?
And just how businesses and people are going to connect and, collaborate globally in the future.
It's more than just hotel rooms, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about the infrastructure for global exchange, how industries adapt.
Yeah, definitely. So to quickly recap then, the big picture is significant, sustained global growth for conference hotels over the next decade or so.
hmm Asia-Pacific is really leading the charge in growth rate, but you've got strong performance everywhere. North America, Europe, the Middle East.
And promising acceleration in South America and Africa.
Right. And the report makes it clear stakeholders are reacting, strategizing, investing, innovating. They see these trends.
Which brings us to a final thought for you to ponder. Given everything we've discussed, these growth trends, the hybrid model becoming common, but also that renewed focus on meeting in person,
Yeah.
how do you think the actual nature of conferences might change by 2033? What will they look like, feel like?
That's a great question. Will they be shorter, more immersive, maybe more regional hubs instead of huge global gatherings?
Or will the big international events come back even stronger because people value that face time more?
It's definitely something to think about, isn't it? How this whole landscape continues to reshape itself.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into your sources on a really fascinating topic, the world of conference hotels. It's maybe a sector you don't think about much, but it's evolving fast and really shaping how business gets done globally. Our goal here is to cut through the noise, unpack the key insights from the materials you sent, and give you a clear picture of what's driving this market, the challenges it faces, and the innovations changing its future.
Okay, let's get into it and explore this shifting landscape of conference hotels. So starting with growth, why are we seeing such a big rise, really, in demand for these specific kinds of hotels? What's the main thing pushing that?
Well, the obvious factor is, of course, just more business travel overall. But what's really making the difference is the huge growth in ME events. That's meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. Our sources suggest it's especially strong for mid-sized, more specialized conferences, not just those massive citywide things. And these events, they need really adaptable integrated spaces, something many traditional hotels just can't offer effectively. That's a really important distinction. So it's not just about having enough beds anymore. These places are designed really as all-in-one solutions, merging the rooms, the tech, the hospitality.
Exactly. Corporations, government groups, associations, they want that integration.
Right, because it makes things efficient,
Yeah.
reduces the logistical chaos.
Precisely. And it can actually cut down on the total event cost, too, which is, always a bonus.
Okay, and you mentioned tech. How critical is that piece?
Oh, it's absolutely fundamental now. And we're not just talking about decent Wi-Fi. Hotels are making huge investments in infrastructure. Think multi-gigabit internet speeds, smart room controls, really sophisticated AV, stuff capable of handling complex presentations, even like real-time AI translation for global events.
Wow, okay, so it's gone way beyond just having a projector.
Definitely. For the kind of tech-savvy audiences these events attract, it's not just a nice-to-have. It's baseline. It directly impacts how engaged people are.
And then there's the bigger picture, right? Like where these hotels are being built. Urbanization, infrastructure development, especially in emerging markets.
Yes, that's playing a huge role too. You see new hotels popping up very strategically, near airports, in business districts, right next to convention hubs.
So it's all about easy access for that global business traveler and attracting the planners.
Exactly. Maximum convenience and appeal for the people organizing these things.
Okay, but like any sector that's growing fast, it's not all smooth sailing. Every market faces headwinds, and conference hotels are definitely no exception. What are some of the big ones?
You're right, it's complex. A primary issue is, well, dealing with seasonal demand swings.
Ah, the peaks and valleys.
Yeah, you have these incredibly busy periods during peak conference season and then troughs, times when expensive event spaces are seriously underused.
Which must make staffing and planning tricky.
It's a constant juggling act, and it directly hits occupancy rates and overall profitability. Very difficult to manage consistently.
And that ties into the money side too, I imagine, the costs involved.
Oh, absolutely. You've got really high operational and maintenance costs.
Beyond just keeping the lights on and the place clean.
Right. Staffing is a huge expense, general upkeep, but also that constant need to maintain and, crucially, upgrade the complex IT infrastructure we talked about.
Because the tech changes so fast.
Exactly. So in really competitive markets where margins might already be thin, these overheads put enormous pressure on the bottom line. It's a real balancing act.
Investing versus just managing day to day.
Precisely. And then stepping back even further, think about the markets vulnerability, how sensitive it is to bigger shocks.
Like economic downturns or
Yeah.
global events.
Yes. What's really striking is how fast things like geopolitical instability or a pandemic or even just a regional recession can hit this sector.
Because travel and event budgets get cut first.
Often, yes, they're seen as discretionary. So you get sudden cancellations, a drop-off in future bookings. It can cause significant, sometimes long-lasting revenue damage. It shows how interconnected everything is.
Wow. Okay, so faced with those kinds of pressures, seasonality, costs, external shocks, how are these hotels fighting back? This is where it gets really interesting, right? How are they innovating?
Definitely seeing some creative responses.
Right.
One huge trend is the move towards sustainable and genuinely green event hosting.
More than just putting out recycling bins, I hope.
Oh, much more. It's become a real demand from clients. So hotels are adopting things like energy-efficient building systems, water conservation tech, zero-waste catering program.
Zero waste catering, how does that work?
Often involves careful planning, local sourcing to reduce transport emissions, and partnerships for donating surplus food. It's complex, but becoming a key selling point.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Well, building on that need for flexibility, there's the whole hybrid event model.
Right, mixing in-person and online.
Exactly. But it's evolved way beyond just a basic video stream. Hotels are building these sophisticated tech ecosystems. They seamlessly blend the face-to-face experience with really high-quality digital access for remote attendees.
So organizers can reach way more people.
Massively increase their reach, yeah,
Yeah.
while still keeping that valuable in-person networking component. And this isn't just a temporary fix from the pandemic anymore.
It's becoming standard practice.
It really is a long-term feature people expect. It's all about offering flexibility.
And what about the experience inside the event? Is that changing too?
Yes, big time. There's a really strong push now for hyper-personalized corporate experiences.
Hyper-personalized, what does that actually mean in practice?
It means clients want more than just rooms and a projector. They want a curated journey. So hotels are responding with things like bespoke meeting packages, really unique team-building activities, maybe tied to the local area.
Theme decor, custom menus, that kind of thing.
Exactly, down to the smallest detail. Tailoring everything to the specific company's brand, their objectives for the event, even the specific needs or goals of the attendees. It's about making it feel unique, not generic.
That's fascinating. So it really feels like this conference hotel market is, well, incredibly dynamic. You've got these strong growth drivers, but also these very real challenges, and then this constant wave of innovation trying to address it all.
Absolutely. And if you look at the bigger picture, connect the dots, it's crystal clear that competition is going to favor the adaptable. Those who embrace innovation, who are agile, they're the ones who lead. It's not just talk. It's basically the survival strategy in this sector now.
So thinking about all this, what does it mean for you listening? As businesses keep finding new ways to work and connect, and as these hotel experiences get more sophisticated, more personalized, how might these changes shape your future professional events, your collaborations? Something to think about next time you're at a conference, what new possibilities might be waiting.